Salut tout le monde, welcome back to the channel. So recently Candace Owens made an appearance on the Whatever podcast, and I was like, what is she doing there? Because usually the people that are on there, it's usually a whole bunch of airheads and bimbos. So I was like, Candace leads with her brain and not her looks, and these people have a hard time showcasing their brain. That's why I was confused as to why she was there. But the conversation took a turn towards marriage and like what constitutes a marriage and like what things are allowed in a marriage for it to still be called a marriage. And I'm gonna show you guys a couple of clips and then I'll come back with my opinion. But I thought the conversation was like interesting and I was surprised because this is what's going on out there. Take a look.
So you're not saving marriages, you're helping people to keep up a farce that they are in a marriage. Because at the very moment that you let someone else into your marriage, it's no longer a marriage.
No.
Yeah.
And these women,
women
have turned around and said, I will allow you to see a professional.
So they are not in a marriage. That's the point.
They're married.
As soon as you lend
some of
your
their
spouse
wives are
out,
like dying from cancer and this, that, and the other. And
if I'm dying from cancer and my
somebody
husband
sleeps
goes
with
to
somebody
sleep with somebody, I
else,
swear to God.
Like their wives are the ones that come.
Hold on, just one at a time, please. Go. Candace, were you?
I just would like to make the point that at the very moment that you loan your spouse out, especially if you're dying of cancer so that they can get off, you're no longer in a marriage. So it's just a farce. It's like it's a comical, you're pretending for people that you're in a marriage, that you're in a loving relationship. That's not what a marriage is. So to say that I help marriages, no, you help destroy marriages, and they can go out and say that we're still married because what we've done is we've essentially said, you take care of this aspect of the marriage. It's like saying you raise the kids, you have with him. This isn't a marriage. It's the whole thing is fake, right?
What do you think that they should do? What do you think that
they should work on their marriage together? The union between a husband and a wife should work on their marriage together to fix it. You don't bring out an outside person to sleep with your husband or your wife.
But if she's saying, I'm not down for sex,
then she might be down for a divorce.
I want to outsource the sex.
What if she's going to die from cancer and she
One
wanted him and she allowed him to do that because he needed to get off some way or shape?
While she was dying of cancer, one of the last things on her mind was,
this is a real life. This is a real life.
This
is a real life. Yeah, this was a real. I'm asking you.
And is that what he told you?
Yeah. So
that his wife, that's dying of cancer, wanted him to come have sex with you.
Not with me. This is from what I've heard. Yes.
Somebody told you that as a dying wish. My dying
so
wife
how would
said,
you
please
want
go
that?
have sex with a prostitute.
I saw it on
brothel.
TikTok.
I'm just going to call on that altogether.
No,
I just don't
because
think
it does
when you're
happen.
dying of cancer,
It happens.
going through leukemia.
People will literally bring their guys here.
Please bring them on the podcast.
I just want to say
go ahead.
that
Absurd scenario I've ever heard in my life.
there's
a lot of crazy shit. Has
There's
been asked
marriage
for at
counseling
brothels.
where they can take you through therapy where you don't have to sleep with somebody else. If it's about a woman not wanting to have sex anymore, what's the underlying reason? Are her hormones messed up so she's not wanting to be sexually active? Is there not enough foreplay when they're having? It's like there's other avenues you can take for therapy.
Normal couples counselors.
Yes.
Real couples counseling,
like regular.
where you try to solve the problem and you release it, and you don't just source it out to a prostitute.
Go ahead.
The cancer thing is crazy.
It's just the most absurd.
The cancer thing is
lied.
crazy.
When I tell ya, I was baffled. I'm like, people live like this? Am I living under a rock? There are sex workers out there who I guess specialize in that part of life that counsel marriages by sleeping with the husband. According to them, the wives allow this to happen. What is this? In what world? And why do we even call it a marriage? Like, I have to agree with Candace. The minute that you start having other people, sex workers, have relations with your partner because you don't want to do it, then that's no longer a marriage. And like the other girl said, if the lady is having the issue to where she does not want to be intimate with you, then there needs to be more that's done to try and figure out why. Because women are like emotional beings. A lot of the times a guy could just like get off regardless of what's going on, but women are different. The settings have to be just right for us to want to do some stuff. And if she's not wanting to like engage in relations with you, then we need to figure out what is going on with her. We need to figure out why. It doesn't mean that you just, she doesn't want to do it with me, so I'm just going to go and find a sex worker and situate myself that way. What sense does it make? Then when do you tend to the marriage? When do you pay attention to what's going on with your partner so that you can in turn fix what's going on in the marriage, because however your partner is feeling, ultimately it affects the marriage at some point. And then the lady was like, if your partner does not want to, eat your banana, then they would go to an sex worker and get their bananas eaten that way because the wife didn't want to eat their banana. What? Maybe she has a gag reflex problem. I don't know. But I'm sure before you married this woman, you probably knew that eating bananas was not her favorite thing to do. And you proceeded to marry her. If having someone speaking in your mic was so important to you that you would outsource it, then why did you proceed with the marriage? What, you thought you could just do that? It doesn't make sense. And then the leukemia part, I swear to you right now, if I am dying from leukemia and I'm going through chemotherapy, God forbid, you better be in there so sad. If there was a time for me to ever be selfish, it's going to be that time. I'm suffering, I'm going through chemo, you're gonna be there with me. How does one even think of getting off while your wife is going through this situation? And I don't know not one wife that's out here giving consent to something like this while they're going through chemo. And in some instances, the wives may be like, hey, if I would have passed before you can go ahead and remarry or whatever. I'll give you that blessing. That's what I've heard of. I ain't never heard of no wife on their deathbed giving their husband permission to go have relations with a sex worker while they're still on this planet. I ain't never heard of it. Candace is very right. You're not really helping. You're actually hindering the marriage because you're not allowing these people to work through their situation. And the fact that that's a service that exists out there for a lot of men that are cowards, you're only going to help them be more cowardly than they would have been if this service did not exist. But wait, there is more.
I understand that you have a religious view on marriage, but when I think about marriage, I think I could see somebody saying they're married if it's completely romantic, you're not allowed to do romance with anyone else. Basically, what does a responsible marriage mean to you?
Marriage is not just a contract. It wasn't just the government came up with a contract for people to get married. The history of marriage, you can't separate that from the church. The problem is people are trying to make things cool and trying to update and make them modern. And now people are saying you can have a polygamous marriage and you can bring in other people on the outside of a marriage. What's the point of getting married? Literally, I'd like to ask the question: if you think that you can, if you want to marry somebody and then outsource this, outsource the responsibility, outsource what the labor of love is actually supposed to be about, why not just stay single?
So you wouldn't do a threesome with your husband?
Absolutely not, because he's my husband.
Did you even have to ask that to get the answer?
I mean, there's
Absolutely
married
not.
couples that want to have threesomes.
And
I cannot. Oh my gosh, she literally just asked her that. That's a normal question to just ask somebody, so you wouldn't do a threesome with? No, absolutely not. Because you know what? Most of the time when men are asking their wives for a threesome, it's not with two dudes. Unless, they're still in the closet and they're out here pretending. But it's not with two dudes. It's usually another female involved because they want to satisfy some sort of fetish and they're asking the wife to have a threesome. And to piggyback on what Candace was saying, again, if you're not a believer, that's not a conversation that you're going to agree with. But marriage is a covenant created by the good Lord. You know what I mean? So like she said, people are trying to make it cool, but that's not how the good Lord created it to be. The good Lord created it to be between a man and a woman, and you're not supposed to be having all these folks in your marriage, having threesomes and whatnot. That's not of the spirit at all. No, absolutely not. It gets worse. When I saw this, I was like, they can't ruin my life anymore. This is it. This is the climax of this conversation. Oh no, I was wrong. Watch this.
I think I know who
But
he
things
is.
change, and maybe he wants to start exploring.
He wants to start doing what?
He wants to start exploring, and he's like, oh my gosh, maybe I do want you to eat my, and I kind of want you to me. I kind of want from you because you're my wife and you're so beautiful and hot, and we're married and we have kids together, and I'm feeling a little bit kinky, and I with you, since we have this special marriage and bond, how would you feel if we could just try this out just this one time, babe, please?
I think it would probably indicate to me that my husband was involved in some perverse world, whether it was through pornography, that something else was happening on the side, because these aren't normal things that people just think of when they wake up.
So
like,
what's your
hey,
next
I'd
move?
really like a strap-on.
Okay, right.
Well,
So what's your next
also,
move?
What's the ultimatum? He's
Wait,
going
hold
to
on.
divorce me if I
Wait,
don't peg
so what's
him?
your next
Happening
move?
currently.
I would think that individual would probably need therapy and not the kind that you give.
Okay. And but you're gonna stay with
You don't
this person?
you don't immediately divorce.
Okay.
Marriage is
You're gonna
about
say-
working through issues and working through problems. You
Okay,
don't immediately
right.
divorce them. And this gets back to what she was saying about if your
Because-
husband, if suddenly a woman doesn't want to have sex, which would be another huge issue in a relationship, I would hope that my husband wouldn't instantly divorce me, but I would hope that they would
Well, some
take
guys
the
are terrified of that, and some guys don't even feel like they can open up to their wives about that
Sounds
stuff.
like they need therapy.
They
then.
need
If they
therapy.
can't open up to
Yeah.
his wife.
Yeah, I know.
You gotta work on your
But
marriage.
the thing is that they'll come to us talking to us about that. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
And I think
don't
that
know, I
that's
think it's-
unhealthy. And I think that, the fact that workers exist as this, what you believe to be a solution, when in fact that's a detriment, because you're getting in the way of the wife and the husband being able to communicate.
I am all the confusionality because a lot was said. But first, I don't feel like it is my job to fulfill this person's fetish of what they think spicing up a marriage means. If a husband goes to a wife and be like, I want you to put on a strap on a situation and do stuff to me, bruh, you are gay. And that's your prerogative, but then we have to have a different conversation. But if I don't want to do that and this man wants to go do stuff with an sex worker, then we have a different problem. Why wouldn't you want to go to a real therapist and talk to a real therapist about the problems that you're having? And Candace was trying to tell her that, hey, if my husband comes to me and tells me something like that, I would have to assume that he's been watching stuff. Kevin Hart did a stand-up one time and he joked about watching porn, and he saw something in the porn and he went to try it on his wife, and it was different in real life. So it's kind of like the same thing. I know it was a joke, but it's like he's watching porn. He saw this guy spit on the female and he went to spit on his wife, whatever. But he didn't wake up one day and be like, let me spit on my wife today in a kinky way. That's not what he woke up thinking, but he saw it somewhere. He was like, that looks like a good idea. I want to try that with my wife to spice things up a little bit. So you have to have been watching something. It's not a normal thing for you to wake up and be like, I want somebody, as a man, it's like, I want my wife to be poking me in the booty. It doesn't make sense. This was crazy that people think like that things like this are out there, that people like this exist and roam the earth freely. And the girl in the orange shirt is over 21 years of age. She is 21 years of age and she is illegal. The word legal just throws me. She is a legal prostitute, like a legal sex worker. She's 21. She has no idea what she's doing. And this is the stuff that is happening in America. Everybody is on OnlyFans because it's a cool thing to do. It's a quick way to make money. Everybody's looking for an easy way out. And it's just so sad to watch these young women just do this to themselves at such a young age. They have no idea what they're doing, and they're so sure that they've got it figured out. And it's so sad because towards the end, before Candace had to leave, because she left before the show ended, but prior to her leaving, she was telling the girl that she was gonna pray for her or whatever, and she just rebuked the prayer, said she didn't need it. And I get it, if you're not from a religious background, praying for you or prayer doesn't mean anything to you. But it was just so sad to watch. Usually I get so upset when I feel like people are just in the wrong and does not want to see the light. But I just was so sad. I just was sad to see young women 21, sometimes 18, just out there doing things like that they will for sure regret. It's just so sad. and it's disheartening to watch. But anyways, that is all that I have for you guys today. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one. But until then, I hope to see you in the comment section. Bye.